The incredible idea surfaced in my mind. I was well aware that our tour guide and the guy from room 205 were already dead. So who was sending the messages? Had the monsters become so advanced, even using mobile phones? How could they possibly type? He patted my head. My thoughts were incomplete. Disarray at the moment. I quickly called my assistant. His tone sounded like he had just woken up. What's going on? Was all the protective measures have been taken? I told my assistant my suspicions about the monster and its details, and instructed him to knock on the door every 10 minutes. It was almost 10 minutes since the last round of monkey knocks. The time for the next knock was fast approaching. I warned my assistant, remember what I said. No matter what is said outside the door, when it knocks, do not open it. After the outside quiets down, our lines bring the employer and rush to your room to meet up. Remember, send me a secret signal before you come, and you immediately open the door. My assistant indicated he understood. Just after hanging up the phone, the knocking started again. Mom, open the door quickly. It was the voice of the son of the wealthy woman. There's someone chasing me. Mom, open the door and let me in. But I remained unmoved, no matter what was said outside. The door should not be opened. The knocking gradually became softer, and the person outside was sobbing. Mom, hurry up and open the door. If you don't, I really will die truly. There's someone trying to kill me. The assistant is already dead. In his last moments, he pushed me out. Are you going to watch me die? As soon as the words fell, I heard the sound of hurrying footsteps in the corridor. The knocking became more urgent. Mom, hurry and open the door. Open it. He's coming. He's coming. The wealthy woman was awakened by the commotion. Her eyes wide with panic as she heard. They got out of bed to open the door. Don't be afraid, my dear mom is here. I grabbed the wealthy woman with a firm hand. Don't open it. That outside is not your son. The wealthy woman looked at me in disbelief, tears streaming down her face. That's my only family member. I can't let anything happen to him. Seeing that I couldn't hold back the wealthy woman, I quickly took out my phone to call my assistant. I wanted to prove that the person outside was not human, that the assistant and their son were safely in the next room. But why was the ringing of the assistant's phone coming from outside the door? My hand trembled so much that I could barely hold the phone. Why was the ringing coming from outside the door? The call connected, and the voice of the wealthy woman, as son, came from the other end. Mom, open the door. Open it. Save me, save me. That's really my son outside. Hurry and open the door. The wealthy woman, hearing this, didn't wait for my explanation and violently shook off my hand, rushing to the door. That's my son outside. Although I was also puzzled, looking at the wealthy woman's back, a strange feeling surged in my heart. Something was wrong, everything was wrong. Why had the footsteps in the corridor disappeared? Only the weeping of the person outside remained. I opened my phone and saw the time of the last call with my assistant. It had only been a minute or so since I hung up with my assistant. I had full confidence in my assistant's abilities. How could he possibly be killed in less than a minute? After all, my assistant had been with me for many years, and he was quite capable. He could at least hold on for a while. It was eerie, everything was too eerie. Everything was luring us to open the door. Just as the wealthy woman was about to press down on the door handle, I rushed to her side and pushed her away. You can't open the door. The wealthy woman was so angry that her chest heaved, and she slapped me. Her hands trembled. Are you trying to get my child killed? Then she raised her hand again and gave me a hard slap. My head turned to the side, the taste of blood spreading in my mouth. Mom, open the door. It's me, your son. The thing outside, hearing the commotion inside, not even more eagerly. Save me, Mom. The wealthy woman's chair was almost broken, but I still stood like a statue, locking the door firmly unmoving. You are my best, and I must ensure your safety. I won't let you open this door. My assistant is not as weak as you think. As if to respond to me, my assistant called again. My heart skipped a beat, and I hurriedly answered the call. Turning on the speaker, my assistant's weak voice came through. Boss, I've held back the monster. You all run quickly. I've sent the guest to you. Has he entered the room? I asked him without changing my expression. Crow sits on crocodile. There was silence on the other end of the phone for a while. Then incoherent words. followed by a piercing scream. I hung up the call, and the wealthy woman, who had been extremely tense and tearful just moments ago, relaxed slightly. What exactly is that thing outside the door? Can it be dealt with? I shook my head and said, I can't be certain. I instructed the wealthy woman to pack her tea, things, ready to meet at the next room. After the knocking stopped, the door continued to echo with the painful cries of the wealthy woman, son, and the sound of a knife piercing flesh. The sounds quickly ceased. After all, the wealthy woman had seen her fair share of big events and remained unfazed once she understood what was outside the door. Mom, I hate you. The person outside left these words behind and then fell completely silent. I took out a packet of powder and sprinkled it evenly over both of us. He checked the time. The knocking had lasted for 5 minutes. I sent a message to my assistant, who sits on Crocodile. There was no reply. My heart twisted in anxiety, and I unconsciously swallowed hard. No, nothing would happen. It must be that the thing outside hadn't left yet. I quietly approached the door and pressed my ear against it. No movement. I then crouched down and lay on the floor, trying to peek through the gap under the door to see what was outside. The corridor was pitch black. That's not right. There should be light in the corridor, albeit dim but not completely dark. At that moment, a flash of lightning streaked across the window. With a brief burst of light, I saw what was under the door gap. It was a pair of blood-red eyes. Despite having witnessed all kinds of supernatural events, he was still startled. I tightly covered my mouth, suppressing the scream that was about to burst out. Outside the door, there was a person lying. No, to be precise, it wasn't a human. The face was wrinkled, the teeth sharp, and the green fur. It resembled a green monkey that looked like a human. After an unknown amount of time, a dim yellow light appeared under the gap. It should have left. I took a deep breath and peered through the gap again. He wanted to see what exactly the thing was. I saw nothing. I had no time to think further, as I saw a message from my assistant. Her kitten flies halfway. He hurriedly got up, slung my backpack over my shoulder, and pulled the wealthy woman out the door. Just as we reached the assistant's door, he opened it slightly and pulled us in. Once inside, I completely relaxed. At that moment, I noticed my back was soaked with cold sweat. I glanced at the wealthy woman's son, whose face was even paler than paper, and he was constantly rubbing his chest, gasping for breath. She wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes and asked me, what exactly happened? What kind of creature is out there? I sat on the edge of the bed and took out the ancient book. Flipping to a certain page, I pointed at the picture and said, I can confirm it's a Bataxulu. At that moment, the assistant also walked over. The Bataxulu was once one of the gods worshipped by the Indians. The book says, Bataxulu feeds on animals, of course including humans. There used to be human and animal sacrifices. Bataxulu naturally have plenty to eat. Now there are fewer and fewer Indians, and there are no more human sacrifices. Bataxulu only appears at night, accompanied by black-eyed monkeys, and it can release organs that causes hallucinations. No wonder those two local private guides ran away, as if they had seen a ghost. When they saw those monkeys, the assistant said that in the past a few minutes, they heard the knocking sound. Was me and the wealthy woman. Similarly, they also heard us say we were being chased by a monster. The wealthy woman's son almost couldn't help but open the door, but the assistant stopped him. After all, he trusts my abilities. The book records that since the decline of Indian culture, every 40 years, dozens of people disappear in the Indian mountains. So 40 years ago, my grandfather and a group of people went into the mountains to find out the reason. As a result, they discovered that this monster was tourists who entered the mountains. At that time, there were also several mediums with them. They were bewitched by Bataxulu at night. Out of 16, only 3 escaped with their lives. The assistant also realized the seriousness of the situation. So, what should we do? I'm gonna page back and forth. Hands behind my back. The more people Bataxulu eats, the more hallucinogenic gas he releases, and the stronger its power becomes. We can't let it eat any more people. The book says Bataxulu is afraid of sunlight and cannot move during the day, entering a state of lethargy. We must hold out until dawn. The assistant and the took out everything from our bags, sticks engraved with spells, various patterns inked with drawing spells, candles, and a mirror. The last hallucination was too real. I didn't see how many tourists. The messages in the group chat have exploded. The person outside claiming to be my dad wants me to open the door. I've never even met my father since birth. Do you know who's knocking at the door? It's my grandmother who passed away over a decade ago, scaring me into hiding under the covers, not daring to go out. I can't send messages, and no matter whose phone I call, it's my grandmother who answers. I almost thought I was going to die, and she came to take me. My deceased younger sister also wants me to open the door. It's too creepy. I silently memorized these people. I added them one by one as friends, and pulled them into a small group. I've done my best, and if they don't listen, there's nothing more I can do. These must be the people who didn't. He opened the door and is still alive. After a period of chaos, the tour guide finally spoke up. Sorry, everyone. This was just a joke by me and the other two guides. Didn't you all enjoy it? Now, the police are about to arrive at the hotel. Pack your luggage and come down quickly. There were still some tourists in the group who echoed at the tour guide's words. They asked everyone to be more tolerant. It was just a small joke. He dropped my phone. My expression was grave. These people were likely already dead. The atmosphere in the group began to lighten. Everyone expressed that this trip was terrible and that they wanted to leave overnight. A few people accepted my friend's request. At that moment, a tourist from room 201 sent me a message. It's so scary. Did you hear the knocking sound just now? It was my brother's voice. But my brother didn't come on this trip at all. What exactly is out there? Sister, I see you with your family, right? Can I join you? Please let me come over. I'm a girl and I'm just scared. Seeing his message, I breathed a sigh of relief. At least the tourist from room 201 is still alive. I was just about to reply to him to let him come over. Then I received a friend request from a tourist in room 202. Don't believe the tourist from room 201. What do you mean? The tourist from room 201 is already gone. Didn't they also tell you he heard his brother's voice and that he needs to come to your room? But he came with his brother. I was very convinced by the tourist from room 202. How did he know that the tourist from room 201 came with his brother? How do you know? I asked the tourist from room 202 a question, and soon after they sent me a picture. It was a photo of the tourist from room 201 with her brother, taken in the mountains. And just before the knocking started, I heard the tourist from room 201 scream. I was right next door. The sound was clear. Suddenly, I remembered something. The tourist from room 201 had previously told me that there were monkeys outside her window. The facilities in each room of the hotel varied in quality, and the guess that the tourist from room 201 had already died before the previous round of knocking. At that moment, the tourist from room 201 began to bombard me with messages. Sister, I'm very scared alone. I'm coming. I'm at the door. Please open up. The door was being knocked on. At this moment, cold sweat trickled down my forehead. The tourist from room 202 was right. The tourist from room 201 had already met with trouble. I had never told him which room I was in. How could he know I was in room 302? Moreover, the wealthy woman and I had quietly moved from room 301 to room 302, never telling anyone. How did he know we were all in room 302? Realizing this, I tensed up all over. This meant that the Beatrice Yulu already knew we had moved to room 302.